Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Hema Ramkissoon and welcome to the CNC3 Early Morning Show. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning. It is Wednesday, the 11th of July, 2012. How have you been over the last basically 2 days in the working week? Really Wednesday actually used to be my favorite day at one time. I kind of thought it was somewhere in the middle, that you're halfway through your week. So I wish you all the best for the rest of the week, and thanks again for including us in your morning's activities. This morning we're going to be speaking to officials from the group Trinidad and Tobago Eco Warriors. We all stood in shock and awe at what took place in the Toco area. Conservationists are blaming the government of Trinidad and Tobago for the loss of as many as 20,000 leatherback turtles after excavation crews overran a beach that has long been considered one of the most important nesting grounds for the species. Now, the ministry and several other government officials that are charged with the responsibility of protecting the environment have come out and said that these reports are exaggerated. That report was actually taken off the BBC's website. So the story has gone viral within the last 24 hours. Damage control, making sure that we are aware of what's happening on the international scale. Trinidad and Tobago is the second largest number of leatherback nesting areas in the world. So we're going to find out a little bit about that. We're also going to be speaking with officials from Pan Trinbago, a link up that they're doing with the African continent following an event yesterday. We understand that we're forming new ties. Also, we're going to be speaking with some officials who are in Haiti doing some good work, and we're going to end on a light religious segment. This morning, we're going to keep it a little bit out of the political and business realm. Even though today is the first sitting of Parliament, it will be the last speech delivered by President George Maxwell Richards, and a number of other activities are expected to take place in the Parliamentary Chamber. If you're coming into the Port of Spain area during the lunchtime period, do not forget that there will be some disruption of traffic along the Ryson Road area as a result of the opening of Parliament. Don't forget, you can follow me on Twitter at Hema_Ramkissoon. I look forward to tweeting with you. But before we go to our first interview, which will be with the Trinidad and Tobago Eco Warriors, let's tell you why you should buy the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian. Harry, HCU's dollars are safe. That's according to the former head of the Hindu Credit Union. Depositors told they can collect at any time. 50th anniversary website shut down, and Tiwari no excuse for killing turtles. The 50th anniversary website has been shut down. Well, this is a quite embarrassing event for the Ministry of Planning and Development. What we understand that the website contained a number of factual errors, grammatical errors, and spelling errors. This is a website that obviously has been approved by the department and those involved. So let's hope that we learn our lesson. Whatever you post is going to represent the country of Trinidad and Tobago. The 50th official celebratory website has been shut down as a result of numerous factual, spelling, and grammatical errors. The website, which falls under the Ministry of Planning and Sustainable Development, was pulled down. The site is www.tnt50.gov.tt. It basically had a number of errors. A little sad there. So next time we hope that the ministry officials will understand that this represents the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Windies aim to clinch series. Sprint there, we see a snapshot from what took place in Switzerland. Plain talk goes to Mike Tyson, and the applause goes to West Indies batsman Chris Gayle. Whether you like him or hate him, he has received yet another notch on his shoulder. Before we go to our first break, let's give you something to think about while you have your morning cup of coffee. To smile at this morning. You've got to dance like there's nobody watching, love like you'll never be heard, sing like there's nobody listening, and live like it's heaven on earth. I'm going to read that again to you. Something positive to start your day off. You've got to dance like nobody's watching, love like you'll never be hurt, sing like there's nobody listening, and live like it's heaven on earth. You have the power to create whatever you want to. Make today important and make it count. You're the master of your own destiny. I'm Hema Ramkissoon. I'll take a very short break. When we come back, the Trinidad and Tobago Eco Warriors will be joining us on set.
difference between seeing and living the Olympic Games. No one gives you more excitement, more hours, or more DirecTV HD content. Now get your DirecTV hooked up for only $99.
It's a mission. This is our vision. Making it happen. We're making a difference. Here and now, across the land, Trinidad and Tobago. Open your eyes, realize there's so much waiting for you.
Republic Bank Limited, in collaboration with TNT Blind Welfare Association, present Vision Caravan from May to September 2012 throughout rural Trinidad and Tobago. Come have your eyes tested and experience a new vision. See press for details.
Open your eyes, become aware, make use of what's here for you. Be part of the vision now.
In celebration of Republic Bank's 175th anniversary, Vision Caravan.
Need to fix your plumbing, shower, or bathroom? Yes, we have that too. Pipes, shower fittings, toilets, the widest range of Makita, Stanley, and all other hardware supplies at competitive prices. Visit our website or come in today at 185 Union Road, Marabella. Southern Wholesale Stores Limited. More than just a hardware.
If your guests are pests, then call General Pest Control. We offer effective treatment using the latest technology against termites, rats, roaches, mosquitoes, ants, mice, pigeons, and lots more. Total eradication, guaranteed jobs, no callbacks. Get a 10% discount as an introductory offer with free estimates and inspections. Centrally located in Caroni, or call 645-4871. General Pest Control. Satisfaction guaranteed.
Miguel, welcome back Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Hema Ramki, so thanks so much for staying with us. This morning, not a very happy note to start things off. Conservationists are blaming the government of Trinidad and Tobago. What we're going to do is we're going to share with you some of the stories that have been aired in our newscast. Joining us on set this morning, Mark Devitai. Mark is attached to the group, the Papaboa Conservation Group. If you look them up on Facebook, they're doing a number of initiatives. He's also still a director of the Trinidad and Tobago Eco Warriors Group. Also on set, Shoin Ruiz. Shoin is a resident of the Grand River area. Trinidad has the second largest number of leatherback nestings in the world. Grand River is the densest nesting beach in the world, with hundreds of turtles nesting on the beach each night at the height of the turtle nesting season. The village Grand River attracts thousands of tourists each year, and income is generated by this for local industry. Now, what occurred is that the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure has attempted to do some work in that area. They're saying that there's a perennial flooding problem and that they're hoping to balance the needs of the community, the needs of the village, and also the needs of the environment. What we saw was international outrage. A story has been on all major news outlets. We're talking from Fox News, BBC, AP, Reuters. Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Now, Mark, what's your initial reaction when you saw this story?
The initial reaction is basically, well, I mean, I was an integral part of the story. I was probably the first person on the site to be there to take photographs. I only saw the excavators and bulldozers in action for like the last half hour of the day. Basically, all the work that they had done had already been completed. The background to the story there is that the Grand Riviere River had started meandering back in December, so 8 months ago. Several months ago, the river started to affect the densest nesting part of the beach. Turtle nests were being threatened, were being destroyed. The river started to extend further towards where the Mont Plaisir Hotel is. Actually, on Thursday morning, I saw parts of the Mont Plaisir Hotel literally falling into the river. The drainage department of the Ministry of Works, as far from what was said yesterday at the
Right.
press release on the beach, had been informed about this problem since a month and a half ago. Now, people at Grand Riviere are basically saying that they were reporting this problem months before that already. No action was undertaken whatsoever, up until the very last moment when, you know, it looks like the action wasn't even really to save the turtle nest, because it was only when the hotel itself started to be threatened that action was undertaken by the ministry. It was way too late. It was a knee-jerk reaction. They came in with equipment which was completely inappropriate. I doubt very much that much planning was done to minimize unnecessary deaths. Remember, we are dealing with critically endangered animals in one of the most environmentally sensitive beaches in the world. And this was really just a haphazard action.
Now the story, and we're seeing clips from all over the world, the New Zealand Herald, the BBC, Fox News, has gone viral. The Minister of Planning and the Economy has said that it's unfortunate that this has occurred. Government officials have now responded, but they are saying that the reporting is a little exaggerated. How many turtles have been lost? Now, I know the EMA yesterday has come out and they said one turtle lost is one too many.
We're talking about critically endangered animals. Every single death of a leatherback turtle is, especially an unnecessary death, is a tragedy. If it could have been avoided, it should have been avoided. I've seen various numbers of estimated losses voiced, ranging from hundreds to 20,000. Me, myself, I do not have access to that data. I was shown data yesterday by the Turtle Protection Group in Grand Riviere, showing that within that area they had an estimated 253 nests. They also told me that the average number of eggs in each nest is 79. When you multiply 253 by 79, you come to a figure pretty close to 20,000. It's like 19,500 and something eggs.
But how could this have been allowed to happen? Now, Sherwin, I know that you were there on that day when all of that occurred. Can you tell us about the reaction the residents had to what was taking place? Were you aware that this situation was going to happen?
Well, we woke up the morning from Saturday morning. There was 2 days of excavation there, 2 days of destruction. The residents of Grand Riviere really and so truly not too concerned about what happened there. I'm going to say this because they were, I don't know if they were taken by surprise or what. We were just there. What I was called there by the guy who helped me on the beach here on the afternoons. We collect young turtles to save them. And he said, boy, come up and see what is going on up there. So I was in my garden, and I went down, and when I went across by the beach, I saw these tourists. They were collecting these young turtles, putting some in the sea. And when I saw the carnage, I said, this had to be madness. You can't put an excavator on a nesting site like Grand Riviere. And this idea where they're telling us 200 nests, that is a lie. If zone 4, which is zone 1 to us, was destroyed, that is in front of Peru, was destroyed, the only place that the turtles will live in the nest now is at the higher part. That is 600 and something feet of beach. So when they're telling me that is only 400, that is a lie. I measured it, 600 and something feet of beach. They could have channeled the river a little lower down, where they would have destroyed less eggs. They run straight through the nesting site. And that is where we have most of the female turtles being hatched there, because of the type of, the openness of the area, where they are telling us that the scientists are saying that where the beach is hot, you have more females, and where it's cold, you have more males. Lower down the western side of the beach is covered with almond trees, so you have more males down there. Up to the side is where you need the females, and you are running a tractor through there. That is craziness.
Now we're looking at clips from our newscast where you will see the damage and the destruction that has been done. Now, Mark, this obviously is not an unknown phenomenon. Trinidad and Tobago is known globally for the fact that we are a rich nesting area. Why would this have been allowed to happen? Were environmentalists not called into the site prior to the construction, or was the Ministry of Works simply just allowed to go down there and do as they must to fix the river? I don't understand it.
I don't think anybody really understands it. This was our big question. First of all, who has jurisdiction over the beach? What are the procedures for when there is an emergency like this? Is there a blueprint? Is there a plan ready? Okay, the river meanders like this. Basically, every year to a certain extent, villagers from Gruyere have told us that this is a once in every 10, 15 year event. So there should have been planning for this. We really and truly, I do not know of any planning having taken place. The ministers on the beach yesterday, basically everybody said it seems to have been an issue of communication. The gist was basically that in future there would be better consultation. You know, that should have happened the first time round. This is not a situation in which you get a second chance, basically.
Yeah, because the story has gone viral within no extended period of time. We're going to share with our viewers a clip from our newscast, and then we'll continue this discussion.
Lift him up. The horrific story of hundreds of turtles' eggs and hatchlings being destroyed has left a lasting impression in the minds and hearts of many, not only in this country, but globally. As soon as the story was reported on locally, a number of international news websites followed suit, with headlines ranging from turtles' eggs crushed by excavators to turtle tragedy. The BBC is quoting environmentalists who say workers botched the job and destroyed some 20,000 eggs. CNN, which also covered the story, gave some insight into leatherback turtles, saying they are the only sea turtles with soft shells and are designated as endangered under the U.S. Endangered Species Act. Fox News Agency reports that leatherback turtles lay about 85 eggs at a time, but less than 1% survive to adulthood. And for years, successfully, conservation efforts have benefited leatherback turtles in Trinidad, which outlawed the slaughter of sea turtles in 1966. The story even reached as far as New Zealand, with the New Zealand Herald quoting Merrydale Donnelly, Director of International Policy for the Florida-based Sea Turtle Conservancy. It's too bad that the government isn't as aware of the need to protect its natural resources as many of its citizens are. But at least one government minister has responded, saying the incident should not have even happened. Planning Minister Bo Tiwari says someone must be made to account.
I don't know if it's the Ministry of Works. I don't know if it is a private contractor. I think that they should be held to account.
Speaking with reporters on Tuesday morning, Minister Tiwari said, if the tourism strategy includes ecotourism, then all ministries must be sensitive to actions being taken. For CNC3, I am Chester Sambrano.
Ecotourism, looking at our tourism sector, but this is beyond our tourism sector, the environment. Mark, supervision, ensuring that the site was properly taken care of. This is not a normal area in Trinidad and Tobago that you are going to. This area has been designated as one of the densest nesting areas for the turtle, an endangered species worldwide. Groups come down from all over the world for studies, to research it, to look at the beauty and all. These turtles can live up to 100 years, I think it is, and it's still on the endangered species list. Why was there supervision on the site? Are there special rules governing who goes into that area to conduct work or not?
Permission to go into the area would have had to be given by the Forestry Division. They are the ones with the ultimate jurisdiction over that beach. From everything that I have heard from the villagers, from everything that I've heard from Sherwin and from what I've seen, there was absolutely no supervision over the earthworks crew on the beach. So basically we had a self-supervised bulldozer and excavator on one of the most environmentally sensitive beaches in the world of global importance to the critically endangered leatherback.
Sherwin, I know that you were there. They're talking about the river, the dangers to the structures that are around, that this work needed to be done. But you were there. You were seeing the horrific sights. You were there when all of this was happening.
You know the matter of saying I am there? I live there. You know, I mean, I live on the beach for 6 months every year, collecting young turtles. So that's my home. So this
I think it's important to see that Sherwin is on the beach every day during the hatching season, and voluntarily, without pay, he is collecting turtles, hatchlings that come out during the day to save them from predators like corbu, dogs that roam the beach, and he collects them and releases them at night when it's safe for them to enter the water.
So you every day dedicate your life to saving these turtles?
Sure, for 20 years or more.
And now an excavator has come and destroyed what has been estimated to be hundreds or thousands of these eggs, all in one day.
To save what I'm hearing in the news, houses. There are no houses in that area. The hotel and a crazy man built on the sand, which the AMA told him not to build. Farishi told him not to build there, and he went and built. So you can't say you want to save a thing when you told a man not to build and he continued building. You want to save that again? The hotel that right now, that hotel is not saved. That work that they did there, they're not doing nothing to save the hotel, because if the tides get high, or we are threatened by a storm, you're going to see what's going to happen there. Those highways, we have waves of something like 6-7 feet crashing into that beach, that site. So nothing is going to stop them, that building from coming down, if we have a storm right now. So what they block the river, there's a waste of time. I'm telling you, it's a waste of time. You will be going back up there and see the destruction sooner or later.
A waste of time. Who's telling the truth? Who's misleading the public? The bottom line is that Trinidad and Tobago has now been put on the international arena in terms of global news coverage as saying that we and our excavation crews have destroyed thousands of leatherback turtle eggs, that they have been crushed by heavy machinery for the redirecting of a river. We're now taking a very short break. When we come back, we'll continue this discussion. Stay with us.
Extraordinary what you can see when you take a second look. Extraordinary is all around us. In the feelings we share, in the connections we make. Captured moment. Share the extraordinary with Digicel.
Seaview Optical announces its grand summer sale in July. Get 35% off all top designer frames. Prada, Versace, Dolce & Gabbana, Calvin Klein, Olga and Coach. Get 25% off all 2012 sunglasses. Single vision lens with frame, $299. Bifocal lens with frame, $479. 3 locations: Diamond Village, San Fernando, High Street, Princestown, opposite Charlotte Street, and 51 Montrose Main Road, Chaguanas. Seaview Optical. Affordable eye care for everyone.
Look out for Metro's It's Best with Friends project. Play now on Facebook. Treat you and 4 friends to a night out this summer with dinner at Short Cafe, 1 Woodbrook Place, followed by a movie at the Digicel IMAX Theater. Simply like the Metro Magazine Facebook page. Upload a photo of you and your friends for your chance to win. It's that simple. Don't delay. Play on Facebook today. Metro Magazine. Your life, your style.
The destruction of hundreds of nesting turtle eggs at Grand Riviere led to international and local outcry among environmentalists who were up in arms after the bulldozing of the protected species by government workers who were doing work to stop soil erosion in the area. Environment Minister Ganga Singh, who visited the Grand Riviere site on Tuesday, told reporters that the work was critical to stopping the erosion, which threatens a number of hotels after the river diverted its course. Minister Singh admits to understanding the concerns of the environmentalists, but says the work was undertaken following consultations, and the aim was to ensure that there was minimal destruction of nesting sites. But Minister Singh says the work was done in such a way as to protect 4 other larger nesting sites and to recreate another. According to him, the work will continue.
Well, work has to continue because you are within the hurricane season, and you already recognize that this is not a really the significant zone for laying of the turtle eggs, and it is the area that they sought to protect, the zone 3. And that is, so work will have to continue, but it will do so in a manner that will allow for the community and the NGOs to participate in the process.
CEO of the Environmental Management Authority, Dr. Jodh Singh, says this has been a learning experience.
No, I think every turtle lost is a tragedy from my perspective, and we need to say that. So although, we have been saying that it's, we have lost a couple hundred, I'm sad that we have lost 1 turtle, and that's the reality. But, we need to state these things in a factual way. We have heard total exaggerations of thousands of turtle being lost, and I find it's really very irresponsible.
Chairman of the Turtle Village Trust, Dr. Alan Bachin, says most of the eggs at the bulldozed nesting site would not have survived because of the high levels of saturation from the out-of-control river.
And the data is what we need to look at when we look at what interventions we basically do. We know in Trinidad and Tobago a lot of work, a lot of undertakings are done in the absence of information and data. In this case, it was not the case.
To gain, you must lose. As the international media has focused their attention at Grand Riviere Beach regarding the destruction of turtle nesting sites here, local authorities have visited here today, and they say that this undertaking was done to protect property, lives, and this village. From Grand Riviere for CNC3, I am Otto Carrington.
Otto Carrington reporting there from Grand Riviere. Showing you want to respond to what the minister had to say. He's saying that it was not a significant loss, it was not a significant site. The entire beach, he looked at the geography of the nature of the entire area, and the response from the EMA head as well.
What they call Zone 3 was not threatened, they were never threatened by the Grand Riviere River. So I don't know what you're talking about. The saturation he's speaking about, I could carry these guys right back there and we're going to dig that area and you're going to see there is no saturation there. So that is now I look at my dictionary and I usually hear they say that further from the truth. I don't like to use those words. It's too I want to use is a blatant lie. That is a lie. There is no saturation there in that area. We could go back there today. I carry them back there today. Let's go back there and see that we can dig. Now what they have excavated about 3 feet of sand deep. And we're going to go back and dig about 2 feet and we're going to see dry. So there's no saturation there. When the remote is open, nowhere is saturated in that area. The only saturated area in on the beach right now is where we call Zone 6, which is their Zone 1. That's further west. That is the only area, and we have less young turtles coming up there.
Now, obviously, this work started since Saturday. I would assume that after seeing the first site with these eggs being destroyed, every single person in this country is fully aware of the significance of that beach. Were the environmental authorities not called in from Saturday morning? Were they not brought in to supervise the site? I just can't understand what level of coordination took place. Does it now bring into question the EMA and its efficiency?
Well, the EMA, they have a group there up there now. They're dealing with the GRANTAC, which is the Grand Riviere Tour Guides Association. They are dealing with them. They will, while this excavation was taking place, Len Peters, who is the boldest one speaking on this thing, he was sitting on that concrete there, looking at tourists moving young turtles from a site. You understand me? Excavators crushing young turtles. Sister, you have to see the thing. You have to go there to see the thing. And this man is sitting there, talking the most. Terry Rondon, I don't know where he came from. And he is there opening his mouth talking that nonsense. You had to be there to see this thing. I am mad. I'm getting mad. Every minute I'm getting worse, more crazy in this thing. You understand? If you live with these things to see how... Look, I'm going to cry here right now. You see me, I just want to keep a little quiet right now. I'm getting too emotional right now.
Mark,
it's mad people.
The EMA, its rule, this site, how was this allowed to happen, and what are we going to do to prevent this from happening again?
I think the EMA in this has been extremely reactive and not proactive. It's not the first time that I personally have experienced this reactive nature of the EMA. On June the 29th, I reported a case at Santa Rosa West where a lead a lead remediation site, which was protected by an encapsulation of concrete, geotextiles, and clay. Was basically this site, which is a hazardous material site, a hazardous waste site, was breached by construction by HCL. This was widely reported in the papers. The problem there was that when I actually reported this, the first time, which was before June the 29th, I called the EMA and I spoke to one of the EMA officers who told me, oh yes, we know about this and we actually have an investigating officer assigned to this case. And I was also told, that this had been reported quite a while before. Why was nothing done immediately when the EMA was informed of this by somebody else other than me? It's only when I came onto the scene and when I brought it to the media that the EMA reacted. It looks like what happened at Grand Riviere was also a similar situation of different agencies, including the EMA, just not being proactive enough. There should have been, at the very least, there should have been somebody in a supervisory role, somebody qualified as a conservationist, somebody qualified as a turtle protector on site to make sure that the minimum amount of damage was done. That was not the case at all.
How much has our reputation suffered internationally as a result of this? The story has gone viral. You Google leatherback turtle eggs destroyed. Trinidad and Tobago pops up in every international news agency in the world.
I wish that, you see right now, I wish that all tourist boats should come in Trinidad and we do something to this government. Let me tell you something. People don't know this. These leatherbacks suffer every year they come down here. Nearly 1,500 leatherbacks is killed every year in that ocean out there. This is known to the government by incidental catch from fishermen. We can stop that by keeping the nets on shore. EMA, IMA, nobody is doing anything about this. These leatherbacks are clobbered, chopped up. I'm serious. The front flippers chopped off. Back flippers chopped off, heads chopped off to free them from the nets because the mom will save his net. These people know this thing. The government know this. Nobody moves. Only one man trying to do something. This is how I reached Mark. This is how I got to know Mark.
Mark,
I would like to say, first of all, about the international... You were integral in changing
the legislation that saw the end of what we saw as a senseless killings of this endangered species. But now, does that still exist?
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to get back to our international image very quickly.
Right.
And see, yes, it has been tarnished by this. At the same time, Trinidad and Tobago, we do have a very, very good track record in preserving our leatherbacks. We are the second largest nesting site in the world. So much of this conservation work is supported by the money that is brought in by eco-tourists coming in to see this natural wonder. And, the last thing that we want is for that flow of financial support for the communities that depend on turtle tourism to stop. So, the whatever is done right now, public relations needs to be done very, very well and immediately.
But the work is continuing.
The work is continuing, yes. Yeah.
What have they put in place to ensure that 2 weeks from now, I am not going to sit on a set with Sherwin and he's still going to be so emotional about this matter?
I don't know. I heard one of the ministers yesterday say that that works that are continuing now, that will be done in a different way than what they did before.
How confident are you that this different way will not result in these headlines?
I guess only time will tell. I'm definitely going to follow up on what the ministry is doing there. I'm going to take them to task and hold them to actually having consultations with the NGOs and the other stakeholders. All heads together can do better than one head.
I am afraid of what they're talking about continuing this work. If they bring sand, we have a problem. Because the sand that was removed there is in the sea to come back in. That happens all the time.
Right.
So if you bring more sand, you're going to pile sand, and this sand is going to come in. What is going to happen to the beach? What is going to happen to the hotel they're trying to save? You understand me? So I don't understand what they're talking about. The work will continue and what they will do because they don't have a plan. They don't have an idea what takes place on that beach. They're just moving with a tractor and we're going to save a hotel. Look where you block the river. Everything is not, it doesn't sense. It has no sense in what is being done. Right where the interview was taking place with the ministers and these people, is the graveyard. They were standing on turtle eggs and buried young turtles. That whole area, that's a mound you see there, is where the eggs, and they were pushed by a tractor. These young turtles were pushed by a tractor and buried there.
Now, I know that we have to wrap this interview in a few seconds. Mark, your closing comments, Trinidad and Tobago, on this matter.
I think we're all very red-faced.
What does it say about our level of seriousness, or the level, the priority we're placing on the environment? We talk about sustainable development, and that's a fad word now. When you look at environmental issues such as this quarrying that's still happening, all potential poisonous substance being just let out into the environment, what does it say about our ability to effectively protect?
Everybody's giving a lot of lip service to the environment. We are seeing a lot of promises. We are seeing legislation being passed sometimes. What we're not actually seeing is concrete action. We're not seeing enforcement of our laws. We're not seeing proper procedures being followed. You know, what we need to do in this country is we need to start adhering to best practices. We need to stop muddling around, get serious. It's the year 2012. We need to organize our country properly.
Sharon, you have a final word. You are working on this beach every single day. You single-handedly pick these eggs up, try to protect these turtles. They are still on the endangered species list. The work is going to continue. The government has now gotten involved. This work started on Saturday. This has only reached the media on Tuesday. Your closing comments.
I think that the money that is used, is pushed into these areas should be curtailed right now, and get serious people working on the beach. The group that they are using is on money. They're not on conservation. They're running on money. Because I will tell you something, the EMA has a group, they have a group up there that they are counting Kobo's dogs, counting Kobo's dogs and frigate birds that come into, they call them predators. They are counting the predators that damages, and we have the same group feeding the predators with the turtles to count the predators. It's crazy. So what I'm saying is everybody's running for money. I believe if we want to see the serious people on the beach, remove the money and watch and see who is going to work on that beach. And things are going to work out.
Getting serious about the environment, putting your heart, your soul, and your passion, sustainable development, protecting what we have been blessed with in this country. The leatherback turtle is on the endangered species list internationally. This country has received bad press coverage as a result of the works that took place on the Grand River area. The works will continue. Are we as a nation going to ensure that the government acts in the best interest of the people, ensuring that the environment can survive and is conducive to a healthy Trinidad and Tobago? I'm Hema Ramsoon. We're going to take a very short break. When we come back, we're going to be looking at Panther and Bago. Stay with us.
Strings. No. Too much. Yeah. Tea sharpens the mind. Lipton Yellow Label, a sip of inspiration.
By public demand, Randy Glasgow Productions comedy gift to the nation.
Red, White, and Black, the concert
is heading Arriba Velodrome this Saturday, July 14th, and next Saturday, July 21st, Quaracora Park, Pointe-a-Pierre. You must be there to see the best impersonators in the country. Desi as Sugar Aloe, the new Jack Warner.
I invite you to hear my crime plan. Stage 1, taking up issue with marijuana found hidden inside chickens. From now on, no 5-piece, no 10-piece, and so forth.
Alongside
the king of Caribbean comedy, Larry Joseph,
Tommy Joseph,
2 feet tall, Cyclops the Stud,
Superman Louie,
Nuts Salty and Fresh Landing,
Wendell Etienne,
Hot Like Fire Dolores, Kenneth Superstar,
Daryl the Saint Mendoza.
As a special 50th anniversary gift to the nation,
general tickets are priced at only $50 while stocks last. VIP tickets also available at regular outlets.
For more info, call 622-0834.
Red, White, and Black, the concert.
This Saturday night, 8 p.m., Arriba Velodrome. And next week, Saturday, July 21st, Quaracora Park. General tickets $50 while stocks last.
KC Candy launches its 12G. Enjoy 12 pieces of refreshment anytime and anywhere. So convenient, so affordable, so cool. Experience the Blast 12G of Mint Explosion, Ice Blast, and Dino Blast. It's fast, powerful, and refreshing. Only $4.99. Available everywhere. Call 636-2360 extension 246 for the Mint Experience. KC Candy. We make every moment sweeter.
After 2 years in waiting and many requests, the Caribbean Comedy Picnic Festival is back at the San Fernando Hill, overlooking the beautiful Southland on Sunday, 29th July from 3 p.m. with the biggest comedy stars. It all starts with a kick show at 3 p.m. with Snow White and the Dwarf. It's an event for the entire family with one of your favorite soca stars. And of course, non-stop laughter from the entire comedy crew. Hurry and get your tickets now at Lakshmi Jewelers and Bellini's Drug Mart San Fernando, JCC Electrical, Point Fortin, Sona Jewelers, Shogunas and Pinal, Cache, Gulf City and Trend City Mall, Mohammed's Bookstore, San Fernando, TBC Office Level 2, St. Vincent Street, Port of Spain, and Cleves, Frederick Street. And for this special family event, children under 12, 3-on-1 tickets, adults 2-on-1 tickets, and single tickets are available. You must be at the only comedy picnic festival, Sunday, 29th July, San Fernando Hill, from 3 p.m. Free shuttle service up and down the hill.
Welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago. What's happening now is that, the pan, the steel pan, is still the only instrument to have been invented in the 21st century. Trinidad and Tobago is known for so many things. The land of oil and music, the land of the steel pan, the birth of an instrument that has captivated the imaginations of the world, imagination of the people of the world. Now, yesterday, Pan Trinbago, which is headed by Keith Diaz, they held an interesting event. They're actually doing some collaborative work. Collaborative efforts are now coming out of this Trinidad and Tobago Africa collaboration, Africa Trinidad and Tobago Steel Pan Development Company Limited. Yesterday, we saw Chief Bowie Bowie, that is the Chief Executive Officer of the Africa Trinidad and Tobago Steel Pan Development Company, come to Trinidad and Tobago, and he, along with Mr. Diaz, they're looking at taking Pan International, allowing the African continent access, exposure basically to what's happening, read the world of music. Good morning, Keith, how are you?
Good morning to you. Thank you for having me here this morning.
I know you had a very long night because yesterday was the official launch.
Yesterday evening at the Hyatt Hotel.
Now, let's talk a little bit about this initiative. Africa Trinidad and Tobago Steel Pan Development Company. Is it a separate entity from Pan Trinbago?
Yes, it is. We are through the Nigeria Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Commerce. They initiated the project along with our ambassador to Nigeria, which is Nehoma Obika. Last year, I went on a fact-finding mission to Nigeria to pursue what kind of possibilities for steel bands in the country. They came to Trinidad many years ago, and they also invited former President Obasanjo to Trinidad and Tobago. While we were there, our ambassador, Umbika, he took us quite a number of places in Nigeria, me particularly in August of last year. And then we had a very informal meeting with the former President Obasanjo, who was the father of making this thing happen 25 years ago in sending people from Nigeria to Trinidad to learn to tune pan. And that project was done at the Exeter Spaniard 25 years ago. So his initiative was to bring pan or steel band into Nigeria. So we met with him, and he said that he would like Pan Trinbago to come along with Chief Bowie, who had started it with one of the members who were on that mission 25 years ago, who was tuning pan, and they had pan here in Panland in Nigeria. So I visited the place, and we started discussions. After those discussions finished, we came back to Trinidad, and then I went back to Nigeria in November. On that visit, he also asked for Ken Professor Fillmore, Len Bugsy Sharp, and the Desperados. And our president of Trinidad and Tobago, George Maxwell Wishart, had discussions with President Goodluck Jonathan in Nigeria to even push PAN further at that level. And this is how the thing emanated in developments as it go along. The Nigerian Army and Coast Guard have steel bands, and our president had initiated that we donate the pans that Desperados went with to the President Goodluck Jonathan in Nigeria. So that sparked a lot of fireworks in terms of the acceptance or greater awareness of steel bands in Nigeria. And we began discussions, and this is where we are now. These discussions, we had some earlier discussions this week. We had some members of the board. It went on to having discussion in London and we talked for 2-3 days in London, and then they came to Trinidad to finish some of the discussions and putting the groundwork, making the groundwork for that organization they call Africa Trinidad and Tobago Steel Pan Development Company, which we deal basically to educate, also to make pan available to so many people in that part of the diaspora, and to see where this emanated from. If you go back into history, where the tambour bamboo came from and the slavery came from, pan is basically coming through the African diaspora and the tambour bamboo, and it came into pan. So it was a great honor to see that the country, in terms of the African continent, was willing to work with the steel band movement in bringing that together.
What has been the reaction so far for this? Now, we had the official launch of the event yesterday. Taking the pan for, what are the plans to really expose the African continent to steel pan and the steel pan music?
Yeah, first we'll like to start with music education, with a bias, to pan. And that's, first, once we get to our targets, which are the youths in Nigeria and in Africa, that will actually help in promoting the steel pan faster.
So you've already worked with your Ministry of Education in the various, because Africa is a huge continent. Initially, according to Mr. Diaz, it started as a Nigeria initiative. Now you're expanding it throughout the continent. Yeah, what are the areas are you starting with?
So we're starting actually from Nigeria. We have gotten an affiliation with a tertiary institution to start diploma and certificate courses in music with bias to steel pan, like I said. From there, actually we're admitting students from the entire West African region. And
what is the university?
It's an affiliation with the Adeniran Ogunseyan College of Education in Lagos State. It's owned by the Lagos State government of Nigeria.
Right, so it's in Nigeria.
It's in, yeah.
Now, looking at the enrollment, and when is it going to start? When is this program going to start?
Yeah, already forms are out for admission, beginning from this academic session, 2012-2013. So everything is in place already for us to kick off.
Now, Keith, some can look at it and think, and the next question is going to be, wow, they have this program, commendable, in Nigeria. When will we have something similar in Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, actually, we had discussions. I want to tell people that earlier when we had discussion with the Minister of Education, Dr. Tim Gopi Singh, and we explained him at that meeting we had about 3 weeks ago, our intention, and we asked him to increase the pan in the schools curriculum. We also asked for additional teachers in the pan in the schools. You see, what is happening today is that our teachers who teach the pan in the schools are at a high level, and we have to recognize what they are doing. That is the pan in the school classroom. They are the period. You see what is happening now? The expansion of people looking at us, asking us to partner with them, and our teachers who teach in our schools, we are the people who know about steel band. And Dr. Tim Gopi Singh promised to work with
But they can get an initiative for the African continent, which is almost 30 to 40 times larger than any landmass. I mean, the population of Trinidad and Tobago is probably a village in some of the areas.
Yes, I agree with that, but you see, we have the expertise.
Too many experts are making the process quite slow.
Yeah, well, sometimes you have to start somewhere.
Now, this initiative, you're looking at the African continent, and we have formed a special company, the Africa Trinidad and Tobago Steel Pan Development Company. Taking it beyond the African continent, are you looking to have collaborative efforts with other international visitors, with other countries?
But this is what the company is all about. We targeting the African diaspora on the African continent. Already we had discussions yesterday and day before yesterday in Trinidad. We looking at we got information where we looking to organize a seaman to go to Uganda through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We also have a tune and arranger going to South Africa through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And these things are being looked at, and the company in Nigeria will help us along those areas, because the continent is something that is vast, and we have to have friends somewhere in along the line.
Now, we just have a few minutes to wrap this interview up. Your closing comments to Trinidad and Tobago. This is an initiative where everyone is looking towards, because the steel pan is an indigenous instrument. It's something that was born out of Trinidad and Tobago soil, taking it internationally and ensuring that people are aware of the heritage, of the origin of the music, and taking it globally.
Yeah, we'll just want to urge various governments within Africa, to encourage this company. It has to be a government thing. The way the government of Trinidad and Tobago, encourages Pan Trinbago and all that. That's, the way we want other governments in Africa to encourage, Pan for it to move forward.
Keith Diaz, we have a minute till we close this interview. Your closing comments, Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, I want to tell the Pan people and the people of Trinidad and Tobago and the government, that I want to thank the ambassador, Obika, for spearheading this operation, and also former president of Nigeria, former President Obasanjo, and also our President George Maxwell Richard and President Goodluck Jonathan for initiating this project. And we also send there so that the government of Nigeria and the government of Trinidad and Tobago work together hand in hand to enhance PAN in the African continent.
Enhancing PAN in the African continent, taking our indigenous instrument globally. I'm Hema Ramkisum. Now go straight to the 7 a.m. newscast. Ria Rambali is actually with us this morning. Ria, good morning, and we'll see you after this.
I'm Ria Rambali. This is Headline News on CNC3 and the TBC Radio Network. The Downtown Owners and Merchants Association is warning motorists and commuters of severe vehicular traffic in the capital city as the first sitting of the 10th session of Parliament begins today. Major traffic changes have been effected from as early as 6 a.m. and will end at 6 p.m. The police service yesterday gave a breakdown on the traffic arrangements.
Vehicular traffic proceeding west along Independence Square South shall turn north on reaching Edward Street between the hours of 12 midday to 3:30 p.m. Vehicular traffic is prohibited on the following roads between the hours of 12 midday and 3 p.m. And this area will be the Independence Square South between Edward Street and Rising Road, and the westbound carriageway of Rising Road between Edward Street and Sackville Streets.
DOMA, meanwhile, is advising persons wishing to move from the Western Peninsula to points east of the Hyatt Regency and vice versa to exercise caution in estimating the time required to do so. DOMA suggests that drivers consider optional routes in an effort to avoid the potential congestion in the area. Former Hindu Credit Union President Harry Harnarai will continue to testify before the Commission of Inquiry into the collapse of the HCU. Yesterday, Harnarai told the Commission that he is not to blame for HCU depositors losing their money. Despite his position and his decisions to divest the credit union's money, Harnarai blamed the government minister and former TV reporter for causing the failure of the credit union.
Immediately, the next working morning, we had people all outside the credit union because Sat and them fellas keep a press conference. It was run on the headline on all the newspaper. TNT Mirror had a field day to bring out a special edition of the Mirror. In fact, the Mirror was even charged for contempt of court. They broke the court order. They continued to publish stories about the credit union. And there was called back for over $650 million in deposits.
Despite international and local concerns over the destruction of leatherback turtle eggs and hatchlings, Environment Minister Ganga Singh says excavation work will continue in Grand Riviere. The minister visited the area yesterday and told reporters that the excavation work was done in consultation and will continue for the greater good.
Well, work has to continue because you are within the hurricane season, and you already recognize that this is not a really the significant zone for laying of the turtle eggs, and it is the area that they sought to protect, the zone 3. And that is, so work will have to continue, but it will do so in a manner that will allow for the community and the NGOs to participate in the process.
And in sport, the third Digicel One-Day International between West Indies and New Zealand begins today in St. Kitts. With a win, the Windies can clinch a 5-match series. Vice Captain Dwayne Bravo says he's enjoying his cricket and his return to the Windies team after taking an enforced break. It's a public holiday in St. Kitts and a bumper crowd is expected. And you can follow it all live here on CNC3 from 9:20 this morning. We'll have another news update in 1 hour's time and our major newscast right here on CNC3 at 7 this evening.
It's extraordinary what you can see when you take a second look. Extraordinary is all around us. And the feelings we share. And the connections we make. Captured moment. Share the extraordinary with Digicel.
Have a blast with rocket science technology. Find out more at the exhibition, India, A Culture of Science. Visit Facebook or nihus.gov.tt for more information.
Seaview Optical announces its grand summer sale in July. Get 35% off all top designer frames. Prada, Versace, Dolce & Gabbana, Calvin Klein, Olga and Coach. Get 25% off all 2012 sunglasses. Single vision lens with frame, $299. Bifocal lens with frame, $479. 3 locations, Diamond Village, San Fernando, High Street, Princestown, opposite Charlotte Street, and 51 Montrose Main Road, Chaguanas. Seaview Optical, affordable eye care for everyone. Are you planning a wedding, a birthday, or simply just any event? Then you need to come visit us at Party Central. At Party Central, we are your one-stop shop for all your party needs. So if you're planning for that wedding party, bachelorette party, baby shower, christening, sweet 16, or just any festive event, come visit us at Party Central, where we look forward to accommodating all your needs. Call us today at 222-7781. That's 222-7781. Relax in style with patio sets from Rupnarine Home Centre. Now open at Corner French Street and Wrighton Road, Woodbrook. Come in or call us today at 624-7667. Rupnarine Home Centre, your leader in home improvement.
Cubby, step into the Perpetual Motion Simulator. We're testing new Degree, the only antiperspirant activated directly by movement.
Activating protection, Bear!
It releases bursts of protection as you move.
Feeling fresh and dry, Bear!
The more you move, the more it works.
Oh, no!
New long-lasting Degree with Motion Sense.
Help me!
Keep running.
Welcome back to Trinidad and Tobago. Financial obligations or regulations. Yolande Marcial and David West, they're both here to talk about ethics, morals, business, financial legislations, loopholes in our legislation, corporate TNT, adhering to best practices. What is best practice in a country as small as ours, where every institution, every major institution, every watchdog body, every pillar of our democracy, there's such interlocking directorates, interlocking social clubs, networking. We're a small society. It's one of the fallouts of being small TNT. But it's interesting that the AML and CFT, they are having a compliance seminar forum for credit unions. And it's interesting. I smiled when they both came on set this morning, and I thought, wow, what an interesting day as we look on at what is happening, read the HCU inquiry and the Ciel financial matter. We continue to look at all that is happening on the inquiry and all that's coming out of it. Corporations that are being run in the best interest of who's benefiting, where are the shareholders, where are the stakeholders? Are we simply at a time when people think big returns, big risks, big investments? But not everything seems to be right, and not everything seems to be going above board. If you look beneath the surface, a number of cracks exist in our system. Following the 2008-2009 collapse, the government of the day put before Trinidad and Tobago legislation governing the financial sector. A number of amendments have been made to the proposed legislation, hoping to address the problems that we are seeing coming out of the inquiry that is known now as the famous CL collapse and HCU collapse. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
I know that was a long intro, but it's so much to discuss. I think this topic is a little exciting. Okay. Are you having this seminar? This seminar is taking place on Saturday, 21st of July, and it's taking place at the Hyatt Hotel and Conference Center, implementing the international standards to combat money laundering, financing of terrorism, and the proliferation of what's happening. We're looking at the FIU, the Financial Action Task Force. And David, I told you that I really don't think things like money laundering are really investigated in this country. And I've said it before the Attorney General on numerous occasions, that you look at white-collar crime, you look at the financing, you look at our underground economy. No one has an idea of how large or to the extent this economy actually influences what we consider to be economic development in our country.
Yeah, well...
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to badge you.
No. What has happened is that the government of the day has implemented the Financial Intelligence Unit Act and other pieces of legislation to combat money laundering. And what has happened is that banks and other financial institutions and other listed businesses have to file what we call suspicious activity reports to the FIU. Once that is done and they're analyzed, they then send it to the FIB, which is the Financial Investigations Bureau. They investigate the money laundering offense and then pass it on to the Director of Public Prosecutions to prosecute the matter. So therefore, it is everybody has to play their part, because it comes from the financial institutions sending the SARs to the FIU to analyze.
Suspicious activity. Now, what I may consider suspicious, I find it amazing that the banks and the financial regulators don't find suspicious.
Well, it's a legally defined term where if you have reasonable cause to believe that a money laundering offense has taken place, that would be a suspicious activity. And you are obliged under the Act within 14 days to send it to the FIU. And the FIU then does their work.
Yeah. Now, Yolande, okay, so I've batted on David a little bit there. You're talking about ethics, best practice.
That's right.
Harry, and we're not looking specifically, but I have to draw examples from what's coming out of this inquiry. Harry, don't blame me for depositors' plight. Fiduciary duty, operating an entity in the best interest of the shareholders. And I always ask where the shareholders' reports were, where the annual reports. But who's more best practice, business, ethics?
Well, that's where we come in. I mean, Apex, anointed professionals exhibiting excellence. That's what we are all about. We are a project of a church, Indigo Martin, Divine Destiny Worship Center, and we are here getting into this area to encourage people that it is okay to do what is right. That is all right to have morals and everything doesn't go. Do you understand it? And it is okay because we have left it up to the secular for a very long time. And the church has decided, well, this is our turn. We're coming into the fray, and we are going to try to encourage people and support people to make the right moral and ethical decisions. So we get involved in groups, like in areas like this, so that we can encourage. So we're here to promote and encourage those people to do that. So we are about professionals doing what is right.
Professionals doing what's right.
Yes.
I live in hope. The relationship between the financial intelligence unit and the credit union sector. When the legislation was first put forth, a number of persons came out and said that insurance companies, credit unions still don't fall on the remit. A number of amendments have been made.
Yes.
But looking at the FIU and the Financial Action Task Force, a lot of these units are said to be toothless entities where they cannot go in and actually enforce. They can't walk into an institution and say, I demand to see what's happening in this department or read this business.
Right. No, well, the FIU does have the power to enter businesses, enter supervisory authorities and demand, for example, casinos, and demand to see their compliance program. And if they don't have a proper compliance program, then they can take action against them. So they do have teeth to use it. The legislation is very powerful. And sooner or later, the FIU will have to use it, because we are going to be assessed by the FATF come next year. And they're going to want to see how many businesses did you go in and see the compliance program, how many prosecutions are taking place.
Now, it's interesting that you say that, because I know when Nicolas Sarkozy made the statement that Trinidad and Tobago is in danger of being blacklisted if the FIU wasn't up and running. Legislation is all well and good.
Yes.
Implementing and putting the mechanisms in place to ensure that we enforce money laundering laws, that we enforce proper financial practices in the country is a whole other story.
Yes, but the FIU, remember, was established in 2009, 2010. They have a director now, they have a deputy director, and they have some analysts, and they've recently advertised for senior legal executive, etc. So it's going to take some time, but they are on the right track. The FIU, they have good people inside there, and they are working to the best of their abilities.
Just for the benefits of the public, the Financial Intelligence Unit and the task force, the roles and responsibilities of these, because a number of persons will be looking at this, and they will think that I have heard rumors of a business that's in my community that I know these people can have that kind of money. I mean, we live in a land of Mobilang, but sometimes the concerns may be legitimate. Do they walk into a police station and say that I have this concern? What do they do?
Well, what they can do is they can go to the FIU and they can fill out a report and give their reasons why they suspect that money laundering is taking place. And it'll be kept confidential and put into a database. The FIU would analyze it, and if they have suspicion that a money laundering offense has taken place, they would then pass it to the FIB, Financial Investigation Bureau, to investigate and prosecute further.
Are you aware if any investigations are happening right now?
Well, in the 2011 annual report of the FIU, they say yes, investigations are going on, and they've handed over to the FIB.
Are you confident? That
yes, I am. You have to be confident. And
you live in hope, but then again, Yolanda is telling me that I should live in hope that businesses are run in the best interest of the shareholders. The dangers of money laundering activity to credit unions, and we're looking at the credit union movement.
Yes.
Dave, when you look at stories like that coming out of the CLICO HCU Commission of Inquiry, how does it make you feel? You are a lawyer that specializes in financial institutions. Confidence is currency in any economic system. I look at stories like this, and I don't know if I'm confident enough to put my money back in a credit union.
Well, that is one of the dangers of money laundering, is when you get dirty money in your credit union, you get investigations happening, you get withdrawal of funds far quickly, like what happened in the HCU and also in the CLICO matter. People heard rumors, and Trinidad is very small. There was a large flight of money. So therefore, that is why you have to put systems in place, compliance programs, so that you prevent it from happening. If the HCU CLICO matter had happened after post-FIU legislation, it wouldn't have happened, because I'm confident that they have the people and the structures in place to prevent such a catastrophe from happening again.
Now, this is a conference that's happening. We do have to take a very short break. This is a conference that's happening at the Hyatt Hotel and Conference Center on Saturday, the 21st of July. There is a small fee attached to attending, but it's about implementing international standards, compliance units within your business, understanding the credit union movement, how money laundering activities affects the overall financial system. Stay with us.
Seven Seas cod liver oil is still the most trusted source of omega-3 in the world.
Take a teaspoon, take the capsule, build up your body.
Seven Seas, the gold standard in omega-3.
Look out for Metro's It's Best with Friends project. Play now on Facebook. Treat you and 4 friends to a night out this summer with dinner at Short Cafe, 1 Woodbrook Place, followed by a movie at the Digicel IMAX Theater. Simply like the Metro Magazine Facebook page. Upload a photo of you and your friends for your chance to win. It's that simple. Don't delay. Play on Facebook today. Metro Magazine. Your life, your style.
Listen up, people, to this spot about rainbow products and why they're hot. Corned beef's not the only thing they've got, so put a rainbow in your pot. Canned and dried goods just for you. Vienna sausages and tuna too. Oil milk, rice, peas, and carrots, so put a rainbow in your pot.
Now that's a lot.
That's right, I said a lot. So put a rainbow in your pot. Yeah, put a rainbow in your pot. Put a rainbow in your pot.
The Rainbow range of first-class food products. Available nationwide.
It's quick and it's easy, and with just one call, Handyman Matters can do it all. Handyman Matters, you get peace of mind, and I'll guarantee your work's done right.
By public demand,
Randy Glasgow Productions.
comedy gift to the nation.
Red, White, and Black, the concert.
Is heading Arriba Velodrome this Saturday, July 14th, and next Saturday, July 21st, Cora Park, Point-A-Pierre. You must be there to see the best impersonators in the country. Desi as Sugar Aloe, the new Jack Warner.
I invite you to hear my crime plan. Stage 1, taking up issue with marijuana found hidden inside chickens. From now on, no 5-piece, no 10-piece, and so forth.
Alongside
the king of Caribbean comedy, Larry Joseph,
Tommy Joseph,
2 feet tall, Cyclops the Stud,
Superman Louis,
Nut Salty and Fresh Landing,
Wendell Etienne,
Hot Like Fire Dolores, Kenneth Supersod,
Daryl the Saint Mendoza.
As a special 50th anniversary gift to the nation,
General tickets are priced at only $50 while stocks last. VIP tickets also available at regular outlets.
For more info, call 622-0834.
Red, White, and Black, the concert.
This Saturday night, 8 p.m., Arriba Velodrome. And next week, Saturday, July 21st, Cora Park. General tickets $50 while stocks last.
If your guests are pests, then call General Pest Control. We offer effective treatment using the latest technology against termites, rats, roaches, mosquitoes, ants, mice, pigeons, and lots more. Total eradication, guaranteed jobs, no callbacks. Get a 10% discount as an introductory offer with free estimates and inspections. Centrally located in Caroni, or call 645-4871. General Pest Control. Satisfaction guaranteed.
Welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Hema Ramsey. Thanks so much for staying with us. Probe is here. Why real estate was bought in Miami. Harry, don't blame me for depositors' plight. We're now speaking to 2 persons who believe that, you know, change is coming, that Trinidad and Tobago, despite being listed in a gray area as it relates to our ability to effectively put regulations in place to prevent from money laundering activities or illegal activities. We're looking at money laundering, funding terrorism, looking at our framework. We've done a number of things. The government has actually implemented the FIU and the Financial Action Task Force. Is it enough? And are you confident that we are doing enough to ensure that there's confidence in our system, that our system has clean money? Now, David, how did you come up with this program? Did you do a needs assessment? Did you look at what's happening in the country and on the landscape to come up with it?
It was a amalgamation of the director herself, Ms. Susan Francois of the FIU, and also to the head of the CFATF, Calvin Wilson, and myself, and the deputy director, Nigel Stoddard. We came up with a program that we wanted to benefit credit unions specifically, to show how the institution has to come on board with the FATF regulations. So that's what we did.
And people have lost confidence in the credit union movement, and I think it's really following the HU collapse, and a number of changes on the global economy as well has resulted in a lack of confidence. But yet we look at the financial institutions as in the commercial banks, and we believe that they are held to higher standards, that there are a number of loopholes that exist for insurance companies, for the credit union. How would you restore the level of confidence that we have in these institutions?
Well, the credit union handles over, I think, about $1 billion annually in Trinidad and Tobago. And they have been doing a good job. You know, you have to, the bad headlines always hit the press, for example, HCU. But they have other good credit unions, you know, in Trinidad and Tobago. So we have to manage them and hope this HCU doesn't happen again.
Building a compliance program, a workshop, and that's how you have, I think, senior officials from Scotiabank and also from the Financial Intelligence Unit of Trinidad and Tobago. Who's determining whether an institution has this compliance program? I know that we're in the gray area looking at how we're being judged by the international community.
Yes.
Putting these programs in place and then doing the assessment to ensure that we don't go from dark gray, extremely gray, to black.
Well, a compliance program is the bedrock of any institution's compliance with the FATF standards. And Mr. Stoddard and Mr. Archer are two competent and extremely versed persons to decide whether or not your compliance program is up to standard. So they will be showing the credit unions what they must have in place in their credit unions in order to reach that standard.
Now, you know, we just have a few minutes to wrap this interview. Quickly, some information. You're talking about best practice and ethics and looking at that. Now, we can look at large companies, and they are required to publish to their shareholders, publish to their various publics, their reports, their general reports, their annual general reports, sometimes their quarterly results are listed for the public companies. There's a move to have more disclosure. But when a number of entities in our country are privately owned institutions, how will you ensure that there is compliance?
Well, the thing about it is that you have to start from within. It's all about the person, and that's why we are supporting this move and we are helping with it. Because it's about professionals knowing that doing what is right should never go out of style. So you're faced with a decision on your job in terms of, should I do this? My boss has told me to do this. Should I do that? We are saying it is all right to do what is right. And we are here as a group to stand behind you, to support you. We have support systems where you can, you know, speak with professionals, because we are all professionals. And we will guide you along the way. You can write to us, you can call us, you can come in. And we are just about supporting you in doing what is right. And we believe everything else will fall in place after that, because it's basic principles in life.
David, how confident are you that we will not be reading about stories like that coming out of the CLICO HCU Commission of Inquiry 5 years from now?
Well, I'm pretty confident that, you know, that out of this HCU inquiry and the CLICO inquiry, people have learned the lessons. And once they see the FIU working, they wouldn't be afraid to transgress the law again.
How will we assess whether the FIU is working? At what point will we look back and think that this institution is not a waste of taxpayers' dollars, but it's actually giving us an ROI?
Well, we will be judged by the FATF standards, the Financial Action Task Force, who will come, I think, next year to assess the work of the FIU and to see how well they're doing.
When is this assessment due?
Sometime in mid-2013, I believe.
Now, the contact information for this conference, 291-8436 or 722-7296. You're working as you're in the corporate sector of Trinidad and Tobago. Do you think that the CLECO HCU Commission of Inquiry has, one, taught shareholders, taught the various publics to hold their directors and those who have been charged with the responsibility of running this company, hold them to higher standards and actually enforce this now ambiguous term of a fiduciary duty?
I believe it has, yes it has. And it will, we could only grow from this as a country. And I hope that out of the inquiry, we'll grow as a people and we will not have this happen again.
We will grow as a people, not have it happen again. It's a compliance seminar forum for credit unions. It's taking place at the Hyatt Hotel, and it's Saturday, the 21st of July, 2012. Find out a little more about it, 722-7296 and 291-8436. I'm Hema Ramsey. Now take a very short break. When we come back, we're going to be speaking with officials who are doing some good things out there in Haiti. Stay with us.
Warranty, reliability, maintenance-free. Come to D. Rampersad & Company for Mack batteries, the cheapest in the market. D. Rampersad & Company Limited is the largest in automotive engineering machine shop and spare parts supplies. We also provide resleeving, reboring, crankshaft grinding, and complete cylinder head services for Japanese auto parts like Mazda, Mitsubishi, 4D56, and more. So come in or call us today.
Introducing a new concept in shopping in Trinidad. AmazingBuysTT.com. Choose from thousands of products. Check out our specials. Free online gift registry. Shop from the comfort of your home. AmazingBuysTT.com. Call us at 652-4438.
Seaview Optical announces its grand summer sale in July. Get 35% off all top designer frames. Prada, Versace, Dolce & Gabbana, Calvin Klein, Olga and Coach. Get 25% off all 2012 sunglasses. Single vision lens with frame, $299. Bifocal lens with frame, $479. 3 locations: Diamond Village, San Fernando, High Street, Princestown, opposite Charlotte Street, and 51 Montrose Main Road, Chaguanas. Seaview Optical. Affordable eye care for everyone. Superb Caterers. The name says it all. We are TNT's #1 choice for catering of all events, serving TNT for almost 20 years. We cater events from 10 to 4,000 persons and guarantee prompt, reliable, friendly and efficient service, whatever the time, place or event. Call 653-1896. That's 653-1896. Superb Caterers. We are superb.
Look out for Metro's It's Best with Friends project. Play now on Facebook. Treat you and 4 friends to a night out this summer with dinner at Short Cafe, 1 Woodbrook Place, followed by a movie at the Digicel IMAX Theater. Simply like the Metro Magazine Facebook page. Upload a photo of you and your friends for your chance to win. It's that simple. Don't delay. Play on Facebook today. Metro Magazine. Your life, your style.
Welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Hema Ramkissoon. In January 2010, an earthquake destroyed the capital city of Haiti. The effects were seen throughout the world. International interest outpouring. Everyone was concerned. The country is still rebuilding. Almost the entire capital city was destroyed. Hundreds of thousands killed. Many families still left with unanswered questions, still wondering whether their loved ones exist out there, still trying to come or find a level of closure. Now, almost 2 years on, 2 years plus, what's happening in Haiti? Well, a number of dedicated men and women of Trinidad and Tobago continue to represent when all else seems to fail and everyone seems to have forgotten what took place in Haiti. A number of dedicated men and women still go to Haiti ensure that the men and women, the families who need help most, receive that help. This morning we're speaking to two persons who continue to give of their time, their efforts, their person, their family. Avenel is no stranger to us. Avenel Hector Joseph is there not a cause? And we have Shahid Mohammed. Shahid has actually been so touched by what has happened in Haiti. He started also doing some work relief efforts, raising funds, sending money, food items. He started going to help rebuild. Now he's taken his entire family and relocated to Haiti in an attempt to be part of the rebuilding process. Good morning, thank you. And I have to also make the announcement, Avenel has a new addition to her family. So congratulations on a baby girl.
Yes.
In spite of all of that, she still manages to balance it all. Looking at Haiti now, let's talk a little bit about your story. Yeah. You also in 2010 started to raise funds and you started to assist relief efforts. How did that take you from there to now living in Haiti?
There was a natural response from the entire world after the earthquake. Trinidad as well was part of that response. And having gone there and seen it for ourselves, we were trying to assess from our foundation's point of view what would have been the best way of intervening. Initially, I went across, the idea was to assist the Muslim community in their education, in helping some of their leaders formulate their plans and going forward. The idea was to bring some students across to Trinidad, to our institute that we have here, and to get them to study. When we saw the need across there, we decided to set up an institute. Initially, my going across was to set up this institute, run it, and help the leaders and so on Islamically. However, when we are there, we can't be oblivious and unmindful of the need around us. So then we started to get involved and to respond to the needs of the people in Haiti, especially the people in the village that we are in. So that took us along the lines of getting involved in medical clinics, food distribution, and so on. But basically, it was a response to a need. In today's society, we have become immune, and we don't respond to needs. So it was a response to a need.
Responding to a need. Now, you got involved in relief efforts, but now you've decided to take your entire family to relocate to Haiti. It must not be an easy move. How big is your family, first of all?
My wife and 6 children.
So 8 of you have now gone to Haiti. You are now living in the village that you started relief efforts in?
The effort was primarily spread across Haiti. The first few months I went by myself and identified a particular village that I saw had the potential, it could take growth and so on. This is Maraguan, it's about 2 hours from Port-au-Prince. So we are settled there.
You know, a lot of efforts and a lot of emphasis has always been placed on the capital city, but I think, the rest of Haiti did not receive as much attention as the destruction in Port-au-Prince. Avenel, you are still coordinating relief efforts. Haiti still has not gotten back on its feet 2 years on. Elections have been held. Upheavals are still happening. They're attempting to return a level of normalcy to this country. What's happening?
Normalcy in Haiti is a little bit of a challenge word, because what has been their normal is abnormal. So they need to create a new normal, so to speak. Yes, 2 years have passed, and yes, there's a new government, but what a new government or any government needs to implement policies and programs, finances, infrastructures, support human resources, and unfortunately, the Haitian government doesn't have that. It's kind of hard to explain to somebody from a Trinidad perspective, and Mr. Shahid can back me up on this. When we think about social delivery in Haiti, there's not really like an active social service provider from the government. Most, if not all, is provided by NGOs. So basic things like healthcare, education, the majority of it has been before the NGOs, before the earthquake, because we have been into Haiti since 2002, and there are people who have been there 25 years and 30 years. So we are kind of new kids on the block and within a 10-year perspective. So there is just so much that needs to be done. So you have a situation where a country was badly lacking in certain basics, high literacy rate, bad healthcare, and then a challenge public service. And I'll forget how much, about 75% of the people during the earthquake from the public service died. Buildings were destroyed. So they have gone below what was already an acceptable normal standard. So it is a challenge, but it's possible.
Your story is quite inspiring. I mean, I look at you and Avenel, and I don't know if we can all relate to the level of selflessness that you both exhibit, you have decided to take your entire family to go to Haiti to be part of the rebuilding effort. There must be days that you think it's overwhelming, that you really can't do this anymore. When you reach that point, what gives you the motivation to continue?
In the beginning, that settling period, the first 6 months is always the telling period. If you are able to rally through that first 6 months, that was our trying period. And we went through a number of things. When we went there is no electricity, there is no water. Our standard of living was quite okay in Trinidad, and then to go to this situation. So within that first 6 months, I think we made up our mind. My children got very ill. My son got typhoid fever. It's a disease that can result in death. So when that happened and we were able to rally through it, I was convinced that we are sure of what we are doing and we have settled. Sincerity of intention is always important. No matter what you are doing, once you are sincere, you can dig deep and you will always find the courage. Being a religious-based organization as well, we have religion that we fall back on. This effort is preparation for the hereafter. So it is selfless, but it is selfish as well, where it is an opportunity to build ourselves and to equip ourselves for the hereafter.
I mean, that's a point when you think it's really too much. As you know, I keep telling you every time I meet you, I can't do what you've done.
You never know what you can do, because they were, like Mr. Shahid, both of we are guided by faith. His faith in Allah and his hope for hereafter and the Quran, my faith in the Lord Jesus Christ, and even for the quality of life that I live now in the future. So I could go and get an 8 to 4 job and get a nice salary at the end of the month and everything. Nothing is wrong with that. There's sometimes that you feel overwhelmed because this is the villages. For example, just prior to the earthquake, we spent a tremendous amount of energy working towards a hospital that was supposed to be open in December, but because of some circumstances, it was delayed to January. The earthquake came, flattened it practically, and so now we are back. So that, you know, I remember walking to the site of the hospital after the earthquake and just literally crying like a baby because everything had just crashed and there was a need. So you have those times you just feel to give up, but then, you know, I think about, okay, I can give up and I can go back to my life, but God is using my little life to provide hope. And our team, those who are leaving their jobs prematurely next year, retiring, so they can go in Haiti and work with the healthcare system to try to improve it. So you think about, okay, what can my life do to impact? You look at some child who now has an education because we've been there for the last 10 years, and you start to think, okay, what if I thought about myself, the comfort of my own home? You know, just now I have to start taking my baby with me. If I just think about me, and as he said, the risk to your children and your family, there's a lot of risk. There's a Trinidad volunteer who was killed last year in Haiti. It's not just about me, it has to be, and we have to live. I think that's a problem. Mr. Shahid alluded to that. People don't respond to needs, but we have to look beyond ourselves and see what is needed and see what little can I do. And that's what our NGO is, and of course is about basically making that simple difference, one life at a time. Sometimes it's just to provide a Panadol or some anti-malaria tablet, and that is life and death.
Small changes lead to big things. Shade, your organization, both of you are involved in the rebuilding process. If anyone is looking at this program today, what would you like to tell them? How can they assist? How can they do something that will make a major impact or result in a major impact, not only in their personal life, but in that of the lives of thousands maybe in Haiti?
It will, different people at different levels. Government needs to look at what they need to do. Haiti has observer status in CARICOM that needs to be changed. So on a government level, there are things that can be done, supplying energy and so on. On organizational levels, we have to look at what is most needed. Most needed right now, some of the bigger projects is clean water. Most of the diseases are waterborne. So clean drinking water needs to be provided. There is no primary health care in Haiti. In our area, there are 300,000 persons, and there's one hospital and one ambulance. And the hospital, I have visiting teams every month from America. Between 9 to 20 teams of the persons come as medical teams. They visited the hospital, and it's not a hospital. People don't go to the hospital. People usually die of unknown diseases or unknown fever and so on. So there are interventions at different levels. So organizations can look at clean water, primary health care. We conducted a clinic Every week we have a clinic. 100 patients, 7 had malaria. The children are suffering from funguses on their head, worms, simple things like worms. Primary health care is not there. The Haitian people don't suffer from any serious disease as like in other parts of the world. Their problems are primary problems. If a child is not well and they have worms or they have malaria, they can't go to school. So healthcare is important. And on individual levels, you have those people who are doing things there, support them, donate to them. Different levels, different things needs to be done.
Now, I have to ask you the other question. NGOs have also gotten a bad rap internationally. In fact, there was a cartoon that I think is probably still posted on my Facebook. Funding going down, but the actual drop that reaches the people that need it most. It's not the bucket that was delivered at the beginning. It comes down to almost the end.
What is unfortunate, and I'll be frank with you, the NGOs that these people speak about are the NGOs that get big chunks of government funding and international funding. I don't know about Mr. Shahid, but we don't get any big bucks from any big name international developmental fund organization. We work really hard for our money. We do fundraisers, because we're going, for example, we're going to Kenya next week because we have a lot of work going on there. For the last 2 months, we have had boat rides, pool limes, every single thing you can think about. And then we depend, I guess Mr. Shai will depend on zakat and whatever else his religion would allow, and likewise people within our community who provide us, whether they're Christians or non-Christian. And so we use that money. What we do, and I was looking, I haven't had a chance to visit Mr. Shai's place, but I will do that when I go to Haiti next month or have our team visit. We live very basic lifestyles in terms of when we go there. What they're talking about is the international organization. I'm not going to call any names, and I don't think that they should take up our poverty. Maybe their passion is not like our passion. We don't go to a 5-star hotel in Haiti for $150 or $200 and $300 US. When we go, we use very basic vehicles. We just bought a bus the other day that we use so that we minimize our operation costs so that we can deliver the best bang. So we can tell you if you give $1, X% of that dollar. We're not spending $1 and something US dollars to deliver $1 aid.
And we just have a minute to wrap this into a shade. What would you like to leave Trinidad and Tobago knowing?
That everybody has a part to play. It may not be in Haiti, but people need to respond to the needs of others, and we need to live as a society once again. People need to care about their community, about their neighbors, about the other person in the other community, and do whatever little they can. It doesn't have to be anything big. They don't have to take up their bags and move to somewhere else. But right here in Trinidad, wherever they are, whether they're driving on the streets, people need to start caring again.
Start caring again. Abnel, your closing comments.
Well, please support Mr. Shahid. Please support us. We are at First Citizens Bank. We have an account there. The name is another cause, or you can call me after 394-2042, 394-2042 if you're on the red network. If you're on the green one, 742-187. And we're right on Charlotte Street. Our office number is 624-4162. Upstairs, Hosigns, and next to Payless Supermarket.
You can make a very minute change in your life that will create a ripple effect that will affect thousands of persons. Let's start making small changes to get big results, making Trinidad and Tobago better. When we come back from this break, we're going to talk a little bit about religion and its role in making Trinidad and Tobago better. Stay with us.
Tile Depot's summer sale from Friday 6th July to Saturday 14th July. Special on tiles. 10% off selected wall tiles. 12 by 12 floor tiles. 14 by 14 floor tiles. 16 by 16 floor tiles. 18 by 18 floor tiles. 24 by 24 porcelain tiles. Decorative borders, floor medallions, and 17 by 17 floor tiles in stock. New arrival, 21 by 21 ceramic tiles. Call 665-5827 or 671-1423 today. Tile Depot, where we treat all customers like they are our only customers.
The Comedy Picnic Festival is back at the San Fernando Hill on Sunday, 29th July from 3 p.m. San Fernando, Port of Spain, Pinal, Point Fortin. It's the biggest comedy picnic festival. The Tommy Joseph and Sprangaline Comedy Squad.
You just always don't care what them women do. You just know when they have false here. When you hear really, just scratch it so. False here.
Damon Melville and Louis Antoine Comedy Force, the Ladies Comedy Club, Peter Joseph and Clifford Lemon Team, the Caribbean Macomita Comedy Group, Caribbean's greatest impersonator, Gary Jagru, Now is the time to book your maxis. Pack your picnic baskets, coolers, beach chairs, or whatever have you. It all starts with the kids show at 3 p.m. with Snow White and the Dwarf, along with face painting. And for this special family event, children under 12, 3-on-1 tickets, adults 2-on-1 tickets, and single tickets are available. The Comedy Picnic Festival, Sunday, 29th July, San Fernando Hill, from 3 p.m.
Warranty, reliability, maintenance free. Come to D. Rampersad and Company for Mack batteries, the cheapest in the market. D. Rampersad and Company Limited is the largest in automotive engineering machine shop and spare part supplies. We also provide resleeving, reboring, crankshaft grinding, and complete cylinder head services for Japanese auto parts like Mazda, Mitsubishi, 4D56, and more. So come in or call us today. The Dr. Oz Show is a multi-topic, multi-segment health and wellness talk show featuring Dr. Mehmet Oz, offering empowering perspectives and cutting-edge information on important, wide-ranging topics.
The number one thing people ask me about is dieting. I got news for you. Men after the age of 40 never buy a new belt size. Or they do. They slip the belt under the fat.
Don't miss the Dr. Oz Show, weekdays at 6:03 p.m. on CNC3 television.
You know, we just ended a conversation with two persons who give up their time selflessly to benefit relief efforts in Haiti. And both of them had one interesting thing in common: their faith in greater good, their faith in a greater being, their faith in a supreme power, their faith in God. It's what guides them every single day. Now we're going to talk a little bit about religion. Would you like to wake up every morning with happy, positive thoughts? Level of dissonance, dissatisfaction, disenchantment. We all just seem to be very unhappy. It's happening all over. The Jehovah's Witnesses Church, they're having an event, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Convention 2012 that's taking place both in Trinidad and in Tobago. Joining us on set, Geddes McLean and Dave Jagannath. Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us.
Morning, Ema, and morning to your well-informed listeners.
Now, there are two conventions that are happening. This is a yearly event?
It is. It is. Usually it's every year. And in this case, we're having it on July 13th to the 15th in Tobago. That's this weekend, actually. And the 20th to the 22nd at the Queen's Park Oval here in Trinidad, and in Tobago at the Bucco facility. It's an integrated facility there.
Now, Mr. Jagannath, this event is not the first that you're having, not the first convention. Most people question the role of religion, the attendance, and the ability for religion to be, one, attractive and even applicable to the modern day challenges that men and women feel. And it's funny, the more convenient our life becomes, the more inconvenient we seem to become.
Yes. Well, one thing we all have in common is a heart. And the convention's theme is safeguard your heart, District Convention. Now, the Bible speaks about the heart, not just the physical heart, but the figurative heart. The secret person, the one that's inside. And if we can address matters of the heart in a way to correct what's inside of us, it can help us to deal with the things that are outside. So the convention focuses on that, how to safeguard our heart in two ways. Prevent the heart, sometimes it can condemn us, make us feel not so good. Also, it can lead us along the wrong path, because our minds may be telling us this is the way to go, but our hearts, our desires lead us in a different direction. So the convention addresses those two things to help us to become better individuals and contribute to a better society.
Better individuals, better societies. Here I am creating new heavens and a new earth, and their former things will not be called to mind, neither will they come up into the heart. The speakers who will be part of this event, anyone new, and why should we all attend?
The heart is mentioned many times in the Bible by Bible writers, in fact almost 1,000 times, Hema. And in the majority of these instances, it focuses not on the literal heart that's pumping the blood, but rather the figurative heart. The Bible at Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23, really stresses the need to safeguard the heart. But to safeguard it, you have to understand fully what this figurative heart is. So the convention would focus on that, identifying the figurative heart, and material would be presented that will help us to see how we can safeguard the heart, and more than that, ensure that by the way we build our relationships with individuals, by the way we manifest qualities, we can draw closer to God in our relationship.
Among other highlights of this year's program, we'll include a play entitled What is True Love? And I had to smile at that. Most people sit and look at the fairy tales and we read the stories. What is true love, Mr. Jagannath?
We were coming up the road and we said, if Hema asked that question, how would you answer that? Well, first of all, we'd like you to be there. So we wouldn't want to give away too much. But of course, what the problem is that many young persons, and of course those who are older also, they have the wrong notion of what is love and when they should enter into a marriage. And many times they take the wrong road and they get married for the wrong reason, thinking it is true love. So the play and the convention will help us to focus on what really are the real reasons for getting involved with someone of the opposite sex and the right way to go about it and how to avoid the problems that come later on.
The divorce rate is getting interestingly high. Yes. Why do you think that is? Is it that we are not aware of what true love is, or have we lost our faith in the institution that is marriage?
Well, there are a number of factors that contribute to that. It may involve, too, what is portrayed by the media. Sometimes there's skewed views of the relationships that should occur between individuals and how the heart gets involved. The convention material and that particular play would emphasize the need to follow Bible principles which can really improve the relationships that individuals have with each other, particularly in the family, husband and wife, and the relationship with others, even children.
You know, so many times we're looking at the attendance of the church and the congregations, the assemblies that we have, these conventions, and you talk about religion and the role that it plays in shaping our society, but yet many would criticize religious leaders and criticize religious institutions, saying that they don't address the real issues affecting society. How would you respond to that, Mr. Jagannath?
Well, throughout the program, for example, we have matters dealing with family, health problems also. The youths are dealt with, crime situation, even the environment. The scripture that you read at the beginning, you quoted, creating a new heavens and new earth, because I know many people are concerned about what was happening in Grand Riviere recently, that even that new earth covers that also, the environment, teaching us to do the right things. And the program concentrates on where the core of the problem is a moral problem everywhere, everything. It doesn't matter which direction you turn. It's just a sense of what's the correct thing to do, and we do not always know that. That's why we need direction from someone higher, superior. So the program, for example, dealing with Saturday afternoon, it mentions there a symposium, remaining faithful to your marriage meet. And then we look at Saturday morning, guard your heart against the works of the flesh, a symposium that helps us to avoid conduct like fornication, uncleanness, brazen conduct, drunken bouts, things like these. So there are things that we don't really want to get involved in because it can hurt ourselves and others. But it has to come from really within. You have to change persons from within. You can't always legislate and enforce laws all the time. Persons must change, and God's laws are so superior that they can actually change persons from the inside.
The laws of God are simply greater than the law of man.
Yes.
Looking at the attendance of youth and young people, making religion attractive. You know, so many times we say that it's not, young people find these things not sexy enough, not attractive enough, not in enough. Do you find that happening in your church?
Oh, well, the program is also, excuse me, the program is also going to focus on young people in a meaningful way. On Saturday evening, there is a part that directs attention to young people. It's entitled Rejoice in Your Youth. And certainly it's going to help young people to see that, okay, youth is a time of vibrance, activity on the part of individuals, but there is an accountability. There is someone that young people need to be answerable to. They have to also recognize that their actions have consequences. So the information presented would focus on how they can develop the right kind of heart condition or figurative heart to cope with the challenges and problems that they face. And it's not just at the level of youths. but even the children, attention is being paid to the children. There's a part entitled Inculcate God's Word in Little Hearts, and certainly it would help parents to be able to see how they could skillfully, implant in their children's hearts God's Word so that they cultivate the right heart condition.
Is your church is this event on Facebook, trying to appeal to the masses, taking things to the new audience?
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that. There are some links, some sites that are available, www.jw.org, and there's a media site there too, www.jw-media.org. There are tons of information there that would help individuals to get a better feel for what would be presented at the program. In fact, there's even a portion of that focuses on conventions. So persons can go there and they can understand exactly what they can expect. Maybe I can also just mention that the program would be delivered in English.
Okay.
However, it'd be translated into Spanish, American Sign Language, and Chinese, Mandarin Chinese. So for persons who have, those areas, they can come and benefit truly.
We just have a couple of minutes to wrap this interview. Mr. Jagannath, what do you think is the role of the church in fixing our country?
Well, the main thing, when Jesus left a pattern for his followers, was to draw people back to God. Because in many instances, we have left the instructions that were received from God and have tried to work out our own plans. The convention focuses on a scripture that talks also about the heart being treacherous and who can know it. And because of the not going to the guidance from the scriptures, like the manual given to the Creator for those that he created, like you would go to the manual to look up how to work your washing machine or your iron, because of not following it closely, we've encountered many, many problems. So it draws attention back to what the Creator has given to us as to how to lead our lives so we can be one human family as we were in the beginning before we started to disobey, and get right back to being one once more.
Mr. McLean, you have the final word this morning. We just have a minute again. Maybe you can close with giving them information about the convention.
Sure. On each day, the program starts at 9:20, and it concludes on Friday and Saturday at 4:55. On Sunday, it concludes at 3:40. There are no collections. Persons can come out and really benefit from a fine spiritual program.
Now, it's interesting also, you don't have to be one of the Jehovah's Witnesses to attend. In fact, everyone in the community is invited to come along. The time and location is closest to you. It's taking place 13th to 15th in Tobago and the 20th up to the 22nd of the Queen's Park, Savannah. I'm Hema Ramkissoon on behalf of everyone attached to the Early Morning Show. Queen's Park, attached to the Early Morning Show. Thanks so much for joining us. Do have a safe and wonderful day. And I will see you tomorrow, God's willing. Bye.